Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a pleasure to be with you this evening. I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank the Democratic Party and those responsible for making this event possible in allowing us to express our views to you, the voting public. For those of you who do not know me, my name is James Fernandez, and I'm a candidate for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4. I am the proud son of the late Jesus and Felicitas Fernandez. I was born and raised in Del Rio, and I am a lifelong resident of Precinct 4. I'm no stranger to this precinct. My roots are deeply rooted in Precinct 4. I attended our public schools and graduated from Del Rio High School in 1975. After graduation, I continued my education at Southwest Texas Junior College in Uvalde, Texas, and later attended Texas A&I University in Kingsville, Texas. I worked for almost 30 years in the automotive industry. I am a family man and a single parent. I have raised 4 children in our community, whom are all products and graduates of our local school system. James Fernandez Jr. attended University of Texas at San Antonio. Mary Gloria is a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin and also a graduate of the University of Oklahoma at Norman. Cristina Alejandra is also a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin. Ralph Anthony attended Southwest Texas Junior College. I have always had an interest in public service, something that I learned at a very young age. My father instilled in his children the need to get involved in order to better serve your community. I was very fortunate to be elected as a member of the local school district, Board of Trustees, San Felipe del Rio, Consolidated Independent School District. As a trustee, I received over 300 hours of specific training in budgets, state law, local policies, and conflict resolution. I have also been very fortunate to have served as Justice of the Peace for Precinct 4. Is that it? Stop. Oh, I'm sorry. I received more than 200 hours of training from the Justice Training Center in Austin. I know and understand the duties and workload of the court. I presided over civil and small claims cases in my court. I helped many of our residents resolve their conflicts. Most importantly, I'm very familiar with the needs of the people of my precinct. Based on my background, I bring the qualities and experience necessary for the Justice of the Peace Precinct 4. And I believe that I can better serve the people of Precinct 4. I have always used common sense and have been fair in my decisions. I have always been a people person and will always listen to the people of this precinct. I have always had an open door policy and will continue to do so if reelected. Finally, I must briefly talk about my pending court case. I believe that I have been unjustly prosecuted. When the case started, the prosecution filed 3 misdemeanor cases against me. Is that it, Mia? Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless all. For the Office of Justice of the Peace Precinct 4, I believe that we must have 3 main goals. First, I want to continue to work closely with our school district and the other justices of the peace to reduce truancy and the dropout rate in our schools. I believe that we must also work closely with the parents of our young children and directly with our children to make sure that the young people of our community understand the reasons that they need to stay in school and later serve as productive members of our community. I believe that we must firm and use any available enforcement tools necessary, but at the same time, we must be compassionate and understanding of our children. We must remember that our children come from different backgrounds and different environments from all walks of life. The punishment should teach our children that truancy and dropping out of school is not the answer. The punishment should teach our children to accept responsibility for their actions and to correct any misdeeds. I believe that the job of Justice of the Peace is not simply to adjudicate and punish our children, but rather to teach our children to accept responsibility. It is more important that the child learn his lesson rather than simply pay a fine. By assessing a fine, we gain meaningless monetary sums. We stand to gain much more if our children learn from their mistakes. My second goal is to stress conflict resolution between our citizens as much as possible. It is pointless for our citizens to argue with each other civil disputes. I believe that we should talk to our citizens and stress the need to come to an agreement as much as possible and avoid lengthy legal battles. We do not gain anything as a divided community. I plan to continue to use common sense and fairness in all efforts to resolve conflicts. I will listen to the people of this precinct and maintain an open door policy. Finally, my most important goal is that I want to continue to serve the people of my precinct and as their justice of the peace. And if reelected, I will make sure that the people are treated fairly and equally and with dignity and respect. I promise to listen to everyone and to give everyone their day in court. As judge, I will continue to be compassionate. I will continue to be understanding. Above all, I will make sure that justice is served in my court. Quiero darle las gracias a todos aquí por estar aquí hoy esta tarde. Finalmente, quiero darle las gracias a mi Dios por haberme brindado la oportunidad de estar con ustedes hoy esta tarde. Una vez más, humildemente y cariñosamente, les pido su voto. Su servidor, James Fernandez. Gracias.